Hello everyone, good afternoon. This is Sanya Shah, and today's topic for the session is Temporary Graduate Visa Subclass 485 and the recent updates. So I'll be covering all the topics, your eligibility for the 485 and also the recent updates that have been receiving from the department. So we can start the session right now. So these are the services provided by Aussizz Group other than migration. So you can let us know if you require any assistance regarding PT, IELTS, insurance policy, NATI, professional year, and we'll be happy to assist you. So these are the topics that we shall be covering in the today's session. That is, what is 485 visa, the types of 485 visas that you can be eligible for, the criteria and requirements, the extension of 485 visa, that is the regional study pathway, the replacement 485 visa, and the most excited update that we have received recently, that is the 485 visa extension under the post-study workstream. So 485 visa is the first step towards your permanent residency. As you get this time to work towards your permanent residency, you can work full time, and even you do not have any limitations to study on 485 visa. So these are for the graduates, those who have studied from Australian institutions. And congratulations to those who have completed their study. You have now started your first, you have completed your first step and will be going towards your permanent residency. And those who are studying, those who have their ongoing studies recently. So wish you the best and hope you are eligible for the 485. So what is the temporary graduate visa? So this is the visa, as I mentioned, is for the international students who have recently graduated from Australian institution. So it lets you live, work and study in Australia on temporary basis. So it's also known as TR 485 in generic. And this is your first step towards your permanent residency pathway. And unlike student visa, where you have like restricted working hours, in this visa, you can work full time and you do not have any study limitation. That is, you can study any other course as well on your 485 visa, as you do not have any condition of not studying. You do not have to apply for another visa and you can work full time and study. So there are two types of 485 visa. That is, one is graduate work stream and the another is the post-study work stream. So people generally get confused, like after studying this qualification, under which stream shall I apply? That is graduate or post-study. I receive a lot of questions. So I'll explain to you each streams so that you'll be able to know that under which stream you shall be applying. So these are the generic criteria and requirement for a 485 visa. Either it is a graduate work stream or a post-study work stream. So the requirement is that the age should be under 50 years. The candidate's age should be under 50 years old. He must be a holder of eligible visa, that is a student visa. Or if you are not holding a student visa, if you're on a bridging visa A or a bridging visa B or any other visa, your last student visa should be within the last 6 months. So you need to make sure that, for example, my student visa expired in January and I have applied for a COVID visa and completed my studies on this COVID visa. I need to make sure that to be eligible for 485, I apply for 485 within the last 6 months of my student visa expiry. So this is the main criteria that you need to make sure that you apply within the last 6 months of your student visa if you are not holding a student visa. The second is that you must be a recent graduate and you must meet the Australian study requirement of 92 weeks course, and that must be completed over 16 calendar months. So in simple terms, like Australian studies are generally, they say that you have to complete 2 years of study. So 2 years of study in migration terms is the course should be registered for 92 weeks. And you have to complete this at least for a minimum of 16 calendar months in Australia. So, and the fourth eligibility is that your course must be completed in the period of 6 months immediately before the date the application is made. So if my course I've completed my course, so I have to also make sure that I apply for my 485 within 6 months of my course completion. And other than that, you have to meet the English requirement, the health requirement, and the character requirement for 485, which I will explain you in the next slide. And you can combine your family members. So during the COVID concessions, so for example, if the primary applicant of 485 visa is in Australia and they have their spouse or child in overseas. So during the COVID concession, they were allowed to include them in the application directly. However, earlier, if someone is on a student visa and the primary applicant is in Australia and they had to include the spouse or child who are overseas, they could not do so because they had to apply for a separate 485 subsequent visa when there was no COVID concession. So please make sure that this COVID concession is ending today, that is on 30th June 2023. Hence, you cannot include your spouse or child in your 485 application if they are overseas. And we can wait for the new update from 1st of July. But however, we have received that the COVID concessions are going to end on 30th of June. So the documents required for 485 visa is passport, your qualification document, that is your degree certificate, completion letter, official transcript. So yes, obviously, sometimes the award certificate is not received by the student because the graduation ceremony is after 6 months or after 8 months of your degree completion. Hence, you can upload the completion letter and official transcript. And the third document required is the English language proficiency. There are different English examinations, that is IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, that are valid for 485 visa. Hence, you need to make sure that you have your English test result at the time of lodging the visa application. You cannot upload it. You cannot have your test date after the 485 is lodged. The PTE needs to be accompanied at the time of 485 visa application. The fourth one is the Australian Federal Police check. You always have to make sure that the AFP is lodged at least a day prior to submitting your 485 visa application. We had received a refusal where the client lodged the 485 on, for example, on 1st January, and he applied AFP after 1st of January. Or on 1st of January as well, it's not allowed. It's at least a day prior of lodging your application. Even if you upload the receipt, that's fine, but it has to be applied at least a day prior of lodging the 485 application. The fifth one is the health cover that you have to purchase, the Overseas Visitors Health Cover insurance policy. So we received a lot of the clients are confused sometimes. For example, if the student visa is expiring on 30th of August 2023, and he or she is applying for their 485 visa today. So they have their overseas student health cover till 30th of August. So they generally ask, like, do I have to purchase a separate health cover right now? Because I already have a student health cover for another month. So what we suggest at this time is that you require overseas visitors health cover when you lodge your 485 application. However, you can put a start date after your student health cover is expired. So the start date of the overseas visitors health cover should be the expiry of your student visa or expiry of your student health cover, whichever is earlier. The start date of the OVHC should be that. Now, the streams that I was talking about, like the graduate work stream and the post-study work stream. So first, we'll discuss about the graduate work stream. So the 485 temporary graduate work stream. So over these, what are the eligible qualifications for this? So you must have completed a Cert 3 trade qualification or higher level studies. Generally, the wet courses like Cert 3, Cert 4, diploma, or advanced diploma that you have completed comes under the stream. The visa grant period for this stream is 2 years. We will discuss the visa extensions and everything, but however, for temporary graduate visa work stream, the visa grant is 2 years. There was a temporary relaxation from 1st of July 2022 till today, that is 30th of June 2023, that you do not require to nominate an occupation under the medium-term list or provide a provisional skill assessment to lodge an application at a graduate workstream. However, please make sure that from tomorrow, that is from 1st July 2023, all graduate workstream applicants will be required to nominate an occupation on the skill occupation list that is under the medium term list. So you will require a skills assessment in the nominated occupation of a medium term occupation list. So for example, I'll give you a real life example so that you can relate it. For example, if someone has studied a Cert 4 in commercial cookery, and along with that, a diploma of hospitality. So this is a related course. They can nominate an occupation as a chef, and they require a skills assessment, a provisional skill assessment as a chef to apply for a temporary graduate visa. And chef comes under the medium term list. However, for example, many people are studying diploma of community service. Diploma of Community Service, even though it is a 92 weeks CRICO's registered course, you have to nominate an occupation. Welfare worker, community worker are short-term skill list, are under the short-term skill list. This means you cannot nominate this occupation because it does not come under medium term. So in this case, you are not eligible for a 485 visa under graduate work stream because you cannot nominate an occupation under the short-term skill. However, don't lose hopes at this point, like people, those who are studying diploma of nursing, diploma of community service, all your occupation, if it's coming under short term, you can opt for a bachelor's degree. You can get the maximum credits from your diploma degree, complete your bachelor's degree, and once completed, you will be eligible under the post-study work stream, which we will be discussing in the next slide. Also, make sure from tomorrow, I'll repeat again, like from tomorrow, 1st of July, you have to nominate an occupation and you require a skills assessment. And the good news is for the provisional skills assessment and trade qualification, how earlier people used to require 360 hours. Right now, TRA has removed the 360 hours requirement and you only require to submit your passports and qualification documents to get your provisional skills assessment. Now, going forward, the 485 visa, now as we discussed the graduate work stream, this is the 485 temporary graduate work stream under the post-study work stream. So for the post-study work stream, the eligible qualification is bachelor's or higher studies. That is bachelor's, master's, master's by coursework, master's by research, PhD, doctoral degree, etc. So all the WET courses will be coming under the graduate work stream and all the bachelor's or higher studies will be coming under the post-study work stream. So the visa duration of the grant varies depending upon the level of studies. That is, bachelor's degree will get 2 years of visa. With the current, we will discuss the extension pathways as mentioned in the later slides. However, a bachelor's degree, including the honors, will get a 2 years of visa grant. A master's degree by research or coursework will get a 3 years of visa grant. A PhD or a doctoral degree will get 4 years of visa grant. And Hong Kong and British national overseas passport holder, those who are eligible for that, will get 5 years of visa grant. So an eligible qualification for post-study work stream is bachelor's or higher degree. So these are the fees that are going to be applicable from 1st of July 2023. That is from tomorrow. The fees are going to increase from $1,730 to $1,895. Hence, those who are eligible today to apply for a 485, you can apply today to avoid the increase in fees. So in a nutshell, if I explain, like for the graduate work stream, if you cannot nominate your occupation and if you're eligible today, do not miss this opportunity and you can lodge your application today as well, because the skill assessment requirement is going to change from 1st of July. Now for the post-study work stream, as I mentioned, the eligible qualifications are bachelor's plus higher. We recently had witnessed one case where one of the applicant had completed his master's degree, which was registered for 78 weeks on CRICO's. So after that, to meet the 92 weeks of total, he studied another course. That was a graduate certificate. However, combining those studies, even though he meets 92 weeks, but graduate certificate is not an eligible qualification. All the eligible qualifications are bachelor's, master's, post bachelor's and higher, but graduate certificate is not considered as an eligible qualification. Hence, he cannot use that to complete his 92 weeks of studies. Hence, you always have to make sure that what is considered as an eligible qualification. So the simple rule for graduate work stream, it's certificate 3, a trade qualification, plus a diploma or advanced diploma related one. And for post-study, it's bachelor's plus higher. Now let's discuss the another pathway of 485. Like now we have discussed the 485 graduate work stream and the post study. So this one is an extension. So who are eligible for this? So this stream is only eligible for a post study work stream. So those who have studied wet courses or certificate courses are not eligible, and only those who have come under the post study work stream are eligible for the second post study work 485 visa extension. Now who are eligible for this? The first step for those who have completed their study and lived in an eligible designated regional area during their student visa. So the first step that you have to study and live in the eligible designated regional area during your whole student visa. After doing this, you apply for a 485 visa. So for example, I studied master's degree in an eligible designated regional area. Like for example, Adelaide or Cairns or in any regional area. I studied that 2 years. I lived over there. After that, I applied for my 485 visa under post-study work stream. On that 485 visa for that 2 years, I lived and worked as well in the same eligible designated regional area or any other, but it should be a designated regional area for at least 2 years while holding their first 485. So I know it's a little bit complicated, so I'll just go it again. First, I have to even live in the eligible regional area. After completing my studies and living there, I apply for my first 485. On my first 485, I live and work in the eligible designated regional area, and then I will be eligible for my second post-study work. In this as well, there are two categories. One is if you study, live, and work in the cities and major regional centers of like Perth, Adelaide, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Canberra, Newcastle, Wollongong, Geelong, and Hobart, you get 1 year of extension. However, if you study, live, and work in regional centers and other regional areas, then you get 2 years of visa extension. So in a nutshell, if you study, you have to meet the 3 of the criteria, like study, live, and work. It's like if study goes away, like for example, if I study in a regional area, but on 485, I came back to Sydney and started my work on 485, I will not be eligible for the second post-study. So to be eligible, I have to study and live and also work on my 485 in the regional center. So after that, I will be eligible for the second post-study work visa. And in this visa, you can include your members of family unit, spouse and children, and all applicants must be in Australia. No one can be outside for this post-study work stream, the second post-study work. All applicants must be in Australia at the time of application and hold 485 visa. The good news is there is no English requirement for this, and the fees to apply for the second post-study work visa from 1st of July will be increased to this. However, the fees is lesser than the first 485 that we had seen. So it's 745 for the primary. For the additional applicant 18 plus is 375, and under 18 it's 190. So yes, moving forward, as I told you that if you come under the category 2, that is you have studied, lived and worked in cities and major regional centers, then you will get 1 year. And if you come under category 3, you will get 2 years of visa extension. So this is a quick snapshot of each state. So like, for example, in New South Wales, the cities and major regional areas, if you have studied in this postcode, then you will get 1 year, the regional centers. And if you have studied in that, then you will get 2 years of visa extension. The same goes to Victoria, Queensland. They have updated the postcodes for Queensland as well. So these are the postcodes for cities and major regional centers. And regional center, Western Australia, South Australia, Tasmania, In Canberra, all the postcodes are under the cities and major regional centers. None of them are in regional centers. So if someone has studied, lived, and worked in ACT, they will be eligible for 1 year of visa extension. In Northern Territory, all the postcodes are considered in regional centers. So, for example, if I have studied in Northern Territory, I applied for my 485 in Northern Territory, I lived and worked on my 485 in Northern Territory, then I will be eligible for a 2 years visa extension. So, moving forward, now this is another stream of replacement stream like extension, 485 replacement stream that was introduced from 1st of July 2022 last year. So this stream was for the applicants, those who were stuck overseas because of COVID and couldn't come to Australia because of the closure of borders. Hence, this replacement stream was for them because they spent their time, like they lost their time overseas during their 485 visa, and the department gave them another opportunity to utilize this 485 visa for the permanent residency. So still the 485 replacement visa, if you're eligible, you can make this visa application before the 1st of January 2027. You must have held 485 or you currently hold 485 as a primary applicant, or currently you hold a substantive visa or bridging visa A or bridging visa B. So to be eligible for 485 replacement, you must have held your 485, and while holding this 485, you traveled overseas between this period, that is 1st of February 2020 till 14th of December 2021. So I come again, if you hold your 485 and while holding this 485, you were outside of Australia between the period of 1st February 2020 till 14th of December 2021, then you will be eligible for a 485 replacement stream. You can include your members of family unit, like your spouse plus children, even if they were not included in your first 485 visa where you lost your time overseas. So this is a good news that they can be included directly to your application, and you can be in or outside Australia at the time of application or visa grant. So we have launched many applicants were eligible for this visa, and if you have spent even a day or 2 days between this period on your 485 visa offshore, you will be eligible for a 485 replacement stream. The documentation you will require police checks and health requirement, yes. But other than that, it's a simple process. And if you're eligible, this is the best time to apply because it will give you the visa grant, like not just for the period that you have lost. Like, for example, if you just lost 6 months on your 485 or even a 1 day 485 offshore and your visa got expired, you're not just going to get that period, you're going to get the whole grant period. For example, if you have studied masters, you will get 3 years of masters again as a grant period. Now, moving forward, as I discussed, like 485 visa replacement stream, the grant period. Now, you will, if you have studied Masters of Coursework, you will get 3 years. If previously granted a post-study, even though if you got 2 years previously, you will get 3 years of grant period. And if you have studied a graduate work stream, like a diploma or a certification course, even though you previously got 18 months of TR, but right now, if you apply, you will get a 2 years of visa. However, the period for eligible graduates that we are going to discuss of the listed qualification will increase for additional 2 years. So for example, if someone has studied Masters of Coursework qualification and if their occupation is on the eligible list, he will get another additional 2 years of visa extension. Now, these are the fees that will be applicable to replacement visa from 1st of July. So this will also be increased from 1st of July. So make sure if you're eligible today, if you want to avoid the increase in price, you can apply today. Now, the most interesting topic and the most important one, the exciting news that everyone has received, that the department is providing an extended post-study work rights for selected degrees only in the post-study work stream. So it's a very good opportunity for the people to utilize this time towards their permanent residency, as this is going to help you to prepare for your English examination, to get your skills assessment done, and also to stay in Australia for a longer time. The duration of stay for some 485 visas in post-study work stream will increase by 2 years. So what will happen, like how earlier we discussed, that bachelor's degree will get 2 years of TR, but now you will get 4 years. The master's degree earlier, how they used to get 3 years of visa, now they will get 5 years of grant period. And all the doctoral graduates, they will, how they used to get 4 years previously, now they will get a 6 years of grant period to stay in Australia on a temporary graduate visa. So not everyone is eligible. However, we'll discuss that what are the eligibility requirements to get this 485 visa extension. And along with this extension is in addition to the existing additional 1 or 2 years of work rights for eligible students who study, live, and work in regional areas. So, for example, how we discussed that the second post-study work stream. So, for example, those who have studied in Keynes and those who applied for their first 485 in Keynes, staying in the regional area. They also lived for 2 years in regional area and they are eligible for the second post-study in the regional area. So after that as well, in addition, they will get 2 years because this is in addition of that as well. So that's a good news for those applicants, those who are living, studying, and working in regional area. Now, the eligibility requirement for the extended post-study work rights is this is only applicable for the 485 under post-study work stream. So those who are eligible under graduate work stream will not get this extension. It's only for an eligible qualification under post-study work stream, that is bachelor's or higher. So bachelor's, master's, doctoral degree, research degree, that will be the eligible qualifications. You must be holding a 485 visa on or after 1st July 2023. So those who have applied for 485 visa and after those who will be applying for 485 visa after 1st of July, they will also be eligible. And also those who are currently on their 485 visa and their visa will be expiring, for example, in end of December 2023 or next year or in 2025, they will also be eligible. So the only rule is you must be holding a 485 visa on or after 1st July 2023. So for those candidates whose 485 visa will be expired before 1st of July 2023, they can be eligible for the 408 extension pathway, that they are also receiving a 2 years visa, but they will be eligible for the 408 extension pathway, which will be discussed in our next session. Now, the most important thing that your qualification you must be having an eligible qualification that must be listed on the eligible qualification list. So the department has introduced an indicative list currently. However, we are yet to receive the final list, and which they will be releasing maybe closer to 1st of July, but today is 30th June, so maybe we might receive it in the next week or on the very next day, on the 1st July 2023. Hopefully. So in the indicative list, there are other occupations such as IT, engineers, nursing, medical, but they are still adding up the occupation, and hopefully you get your occupation on that list, so you get an extension. However, we are still yet to receive that list, and once the list is there, all the confusion will go away. However, we just received the instrument where they have mentioned that you will have to apply for a new application after 1st of July, and there will be no application fee. So that's a very good news that you're going to get 2 years of visa extension without any application fee. And there might be police check or health examination required as other visas have, but there will be no English requirement as of now. But let's wait for the new requirement, like the exact legislation to be released after 1st of July. And to come again, you will be receiving extra 2 years of visa extension. So even if your visa is expiring in the year 2025, you will get a 2 years of extension on that note. So this is a great news that we have received from department. And I hope that it doesn't mean that you delay your permanent residency as you have this many years of visa. And I wish that you get your permanent residency as soon as possible. Like you work towards your skill assessment, your English requirement, your NATI, and get your permanent residency within 1 or 2 years on your 485 itself, and be a permanent resident in Australia. So thank you guys for attending this session and having your interest in 485 visas. And we can have a question and answer session. And you guys can drop in your questions in the chat box and we can discuss it.
Thank you so much, Sanya, for this informative session. We hope this session was helpful for you all and your queries were solved. Sorry, the queries, you can just drop your queries in the chat box and Sanya will answer all of them one by one. Please feel free to ask your queries.
So guys, if you have any questions regarding your 485 graduate work stream, post-study work stream, or any replacement, you can drop in your questions. And if you also require a consultation, we have free consultations for 485. You can contact us and we can book a consultation for you. So I've received one question from Moses that how can I include my spouse on my 485 who was previously not on my 500 student visa? So if your spouse, like, is she offshore or onshore? So if she's onshore, like, you can include her on your 485 visa. So sorry, I'll just come back for that thing for 485. So you're going to apply for your first 485 or a replacement stream. So for example, so you can answer me later, but for example, if you're on your 485, you can directly apply for your partner's 485 subsequent visa, that is a dependent visa, and she can come here even if she's onshore or offshore. If she's onshore, she'll get a bridging visa until the grant of 485 subsequent. But if she's onshore, you can apply for a 485 subsequent, and once it is granted, she can come here. Now, the second question is from Suranjana. If I recently completed my bachelor's in Australia and went on a 408 visa after, but I'm planning to study again, doing a 1-year diploma in education, will I still be eligible for a 485 post-study workstream visa? So if you have recently completed bachelor's in Australia and went on 408, but I'm planning to study again doing 1-year diploma, yes. So if your bachelor's was 92 weeks registered, which I believe, and if you'll be doing your diploma and go again on a student visa, then while on student visa, once you complete your diploma, you'll be a recent graduate and also be on a student visa. Then you'll be eligible for a 485 post-study work stream because you studied an eligible qualification, that is bachelor's.
Hi, Sanya. We missed out a question from Mr. 𝐻. He had asked the question at the very
Okay, I'll
beginning.
I received, hello, good day. So Tej, I received an offer letter from University of Queensland for Masters of Interaction Design degree, and the department is part of the Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology. I couldn't find the Masters of Interaction Design program on education, but the job role web designer is in the eligible occupation list. Will I be eligible for an extension of 5 years of PGWV after finishing the course? So Tej, currently the department has announced that you require to have an eligible qualification or eligible occupation in the list. However, they are going to release the final list where they will be mapping out the exact criteria along with the qualification. So for example, your criteria which you have mentioned, if it is in the list, you will get the 5 years of visa extension. So maybe you can wait for a day or two when the list will be released. And if your criteria is mapping out, it's matching with the course that they have mentioned, then go ahead with the course and you'll get a 5 years of visa extension. So, Mohit, what is the minimum requirement of PTE for 485 visa? So I'll let you know the exact one. So Mohit, the minimum requirement for post-study, so that's different for post-study and graduate work stream. However, for PT for post-study work stream, I believe I'm just saying to you is you require overall score of at least 50 with a minimum score of 36 in each module. So we have a question from Johara. When should you ideally apply for 485? while studying masters or after professional year. So Johara, you have to ideally apply for your 485 within 6 months of your course completion. So for example, you're completing your course in July. So you should apply within 6 months for your 485 because after that you won't be eligible for 485. So once you complete your studies, get your completion letter and transcript so you can appear for English examination, apply for police checks, and then you can ideally apply for 485, but you have the 6 months time frame to apply for that. And you can start your professional year once you get the bridging visa of 485. We have another question from Parvati. Like my 485 expires in October 2023. Will I be eligible for the 2-year extension? When is the good time to apply for my extension? Yes, you will be eligible for an extension if your qualification is in the eligible qualification list. So if it's in the list, you hold a 485 after 1st of July. So that's a tick. If your qualification is in the list, that's a tick. Then you can apply, you'll be eligible for the extension. And the best time to apply would be if it's expiring on 15th of October, for example, you can apply in the first week of October. The next question from Grace is, I was granted 485 visa in 2019 till 2021. Then I continued, took masters in Adelaide and will graduate in July. Do I eligible to apply for another 485? So from your question, Grace, so you were already granted a 485 in past. Then you again came on a student visa, I believe, and you will be graduating in July. So you won't be getting another 485 because you can get 485 only once. So these are the extension programs that the department has implemented, but only if you currently hold a 485. But if you have already held a 485 in past, then you cannot have another 485 in future if you do not fall under the replacement stream or the extension stream. Another question from Parvati. What if it is not on the list? Will I still get 1-year extension? I studied, live, and work in regional. Yes. So for example, if it's not in the list, like as we discussed that if your qualification is not in the list and your 485 is expiring on October 2023, and if you have studied, lived, and work in regional, then yes, you will get 1 year of extension if you fall under that postcode of cities and major regional center. And you'll get 2 years of extension if you fall under the postcodes of regional center. So Moses, I got your reply that you would like to apply for 485 visa and your wife is offshore. So Moses, with the COVID concessions that were going on earlier, yes, you could have directly applied for a combined application with your wife. But if it's your first 485, you as a primary applicant is in Australia and your wife is offshore, then you cannot apply as a combined application because the COVID concession is ending today. So if you're eligible, you can still apply, but the COVID concession is ending today. Hence, you will have to wait for your 485 to be granted and then apply as a subsequent 485 for her. Hope this helps, Moses. You can let me know if you still have questions. And a question from Tej, when the eligible course list is published, where can we look for it? So currently they have only published the indicative eligible list, and you can look at their website, and you can also follow us on social media. We will update you as soon as we receive the eligible course list, and we might expect it to be released by next week because they said that it will be released closer to July. So one question from Rahul, like, hi, can I know for MBA under coursework, am I eligible for extra 2 years extension of 485? So Rahul, currently under the indicative course list, they have the qualifications under IT, engineers, medical, and I don't believe MBA is in the list. However, we should still wait for the final list to be confirmed because they're gonna mention the exact cry course, and you can map your cry course with the current which you are studying and then decide whether you could go ahead with this course or you want to shift to another course which will be eligible for an extension of 2 years. So another question from Suranjana. Thank you. Just a follow-up. After doing a bachelor's, doing a 1 or 1.5-year diploma registered under a cry course versus doing a 2 years master's degree, does this give different amount of years when granted a 485, or will it be same? Suranjana, maybe you can email me because I might require a few more information regarding your case, and we can have a quick chat after the session and I can explain you in detail regarding it. So I believe that's all the questions we have. You guys can still pop up. We still have time. Rahul, I'm sorry I was not able to hear you. Can I know MBA under the coursework? So Rahul, I come again that the final list, can you hear me now? The final list is going to be released by next week, closer to 1st of July. And if MBA, the CRICOS, they are going to mention the exact CRICOS code. And if this CRICOS code is the one that you're currently studying, then you will be eligible for 2 years. However, in the indicative temporary list that they have released, MBA is not there currently. However, they are still adding up the courses. Hence, if your luck goes, it might be under the list. However, if not, then you can think whether you would like to go transfer to another course as well if it's eligible for 2-year extension. So I guess, guys, that's the questions. You still have time. You can pop up your questions or you can connect me as well if you have any questions after the session or in future. But those who, this is the best time to apply for your 485. And if your course is into the list, you'll get an extension and work towards, have more time to work towards your PR. So is food technology on the indicative course list? Hi, Parvati, I'll have to check that list, whether the food technology is in the list or not. You can connect me on my email and I can let you know in the indicative list. However, you will receive the list by next week. So if exactly if you match the CRICOS, you'll get the extension. Hi, Jay. So your question is, would my course be eligible for the extension if it was discontinued in 2021? So Jay, your course will only be eligible for extension if you have completed the course. So if you have discontinued, that means you have not completed the course and hence they will not give you an extension on that course. So you'll have to either complete that course or start a new course which is eligible for that if you have not applied for a 485. So another question from Tej is, I'm starting my master's in 2024. If my program's CRICOS code is eligible for the extension and I graduate in 2026, will that extension still be available or will it alter based on the 2026 eligible list? Also, kindly drop your email ID. So Tej, as of now, they have not said that this extension is only available till this date. Like how replacement is only available till 2027 year. Like this extension list, they have not mentioned any end date, like till 2026 it will be changed or not. But right now we would suggest, like if your master's, the course that you are studying is in the CRICOS code, then you will be eligible for the extension of 2 years. 3 years you're still gonna get, but if it's under the list, you will be getting an extension of 2 years until further announced by the department. Hi, Jay. You have mentioned that I have completed the course, but it is no longer being offered in university. So, Jay, if you have completed the course and that course CRICOS code is there in the list, and for example, if the university is not offering that course, so they might have changed the CRICOS. So, in the final list, if they have included the CRICOS like the previous one and the current one, or the replaced one, then you will be eligible for the extension. However, for better clarity, we can wait for the list by next week. Then you can connect me via email once the list is out and I can guide you further. Thank you, Tej. Thank you, Jay. One question from Kristen. Thank you. If I pass the skills assessment test, is that I must apply the related job in local company or I can start my own company? Hi, Kristen. There is no requirement like if you pass the skill assessment, for example, in IT or mechanical engineer, if you have the positive outcome, then you only have to work in IT, unless if that state nomination requirements requires you to be working currently or have experience. However, nothing stopping you to start your own company. Another question from Suranjana is, I completed my bachelor's in science and I'm on 408 visa expiring in March 2024. If I'm planning to study further in diploma, master's, doctoral degree in 2024 or 2025 with a student visa, do you recommend applying for the 485 now or later after completing a higher education? And I'm on 408 visa expiring in if I'm planning to study further in diploma. So, Suranjan, I require other details as well for this, and you can email me and I will have a session with you because I require other details like whether you are on student visa, which course you completed, and so on. Hi, Harkirat. What about trade courses can be extend TR? Sorry, Harkirat, this extension of TR is only for the people, those who have studied bachelor's or master's under post-study work stream and not undergraduate work stream. So Suranjana, like coming back to your question, like if your bachelor's in science, like if your student visa is within last 6 months, and if your bachelor's in science has the course listed in the eligible qualification, then you are anyways getting 4 years of visa, which is sufficient enough for you to get your permanent residency. If you have the, like we'll have to assess your case, but however, you anyways get 4 years of visa for your graduate if it's another eligible qualification. So for example, if it doesn't fall, and then you can plan to study a different course and go ahead with the extension pathway. However, you can connect with me and I can explain you in detail what can be your pathway, suitable pathway for you. So guys, we still have 5 minutes. You can drop off your questions or else you can just email me later on as well. So I believe, Advait, like we have had all our questions, but if you guys have any questions in future, we also offer free 485 consultations. You can contact us. You can visit our office or we even have a phone consultation or a Teams consultation. So please, you can find the contact details in the chat box. You can connect us and you also have my email ID. You can email me directly as well. And I'll be happy to assist you with your 485 visa extensions or a graduate work stream or post-study work stream.
Thank you so much, Sanya, for all the information that you've provided today. I hope this was very helpful to all the people. Oh, I guess Rahul has a question.
Hi Rahul, can I know does MBA Advanced course come under the coursework? Rahul, will have to wait for the final list because they have not released the final list with the exact course. But however, with the indicative list, I do not see MBA Advanced in currently over there. However, we can wait for the new list and at that time because they are adding up the courses. So if you're lucky enough, your course might be add up and you get an extension if it's there. But you can wait for a week for that. Thank you, Rahul.
I guess we are done with the questions then.
Yes.
We hope all your queries were answered today. If you have any more queries, you can always connect with us. We have shared the link in the chat box. You can connect with the nearest Aussizz group branch. We provide phone consultations, face-to-face consultations, and video call consultations as well. So connect with us soon and take the next step of a migration journey. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much, Sanya.
Thank you, Advait. Thank you, everyone. And I hope you get your course get added in the list and you get the extension. But yes, do visit us if you have any queries and we'll help you to achieve your permanent residency in Australia. Thank you, everyone.